Ladies and gentlemen, welcome inside the city. We are here on the turf and the training facility for Lansing City in USL League 2. I'm joined by a very special guest, Ben Johns of Lansing City. Please join me in welcoming Ben Johns to the show. Ben, thank you so much for coming out here and sitting on the turf with me.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, well, we've been doing this thing over this summer, having people get a chance to know the players. Obviously, you guys, the team is in a pretty tough spot right now. I mean, if we don't have to remind us of the result that just happened, but there's also been some really heartbreaking moments, right? Yeah. Not just one. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit about that. But first, let's just chat about, let's let everyone know, like, kind of who you are, like where you're coming from, when did you start playing soccer, and that kind of thing. So where are you originally from?
I grew up in Redford and Livonia, Michigan, just outside of Detroit.
Okay, so you grew up in that Detroit area.
Yeah.
And then when did you first start playing soccer?
I was always playing in the backyard with my brother since I was very young, maybe 2 or 3 years old. And I started playing kind of little kickers. And then originally I started at Waza FC.
Okay.
Fantastic club.
Yeah. And was it like, were you playing with your older brothers, younger brothers? Like,
just my younger brother.
Your younger brother. Okay,
yeah.
So you and your younger brother playing. Because I was on the other side. So I was always playing, like, with my older siblings, like trying to keep up, so – I would change the rules. That's what I would do. I'd be like, no, that's not it. We're going to change this so I have an advantage. Yeah. So you started playing soccer from a young age. When did it start becoming like something that you knew you wanted to do at least more competitively?
Probably like 10 or 11 years old, somewhere around there. I always knew I didn't want to have a normal job, so it was a matter of which kind of avenue I wanted to pursue, and I really fell in love with the way Waza taught me how to play soccer, and from there it was something I really put my head to.
So that was the time when you was that like a point where you were like, I want to try to do this like as a job?
Yeah.
That was the moment when you were 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Wow. So since then, where did that ambition take you?
All over the place. I went to high school in Livonia. I played for various clubs around the Metro Detroit area. And then when I graduated high school, I went to England, played there for a couple years. I've been in, I think, 7 different countries in Europe the past 4 or 5 years playing. And I've came back home recently.
Yeah, so I was going to ask, like, how you got connected with Lansing City. So, but before I do, I'm curious about that, like, time that you spent, like, overseas and that kind of thing. But let's answer that question first. How did you end up getting connected with Lansing City?
I had played with a player, Ali Ahmed, at a club nearby just to kind of stay fit. And he called me when I was in Sweden a couple months ago. I was training and playing preseason with a couple professional clubs there. And then Matt, the sporting director, and Jeremy reached out to me and said if I was back in town, they were serious. And I knew USL2 was a good level, so I said if I was back in town, then I would commit. I really liked the project that Matt and Jeremy had told me about, and I was more concerned with the environment that they put on for the players and the people who were working with the club than I was about what kind of players were here. So unfortunately, I had to come home, but it's also fortunate because I'm enjoying Lansing City Football Club. That's
awesome. That's great to hear. So let's talk about that journey that you had going to, like, overseas. So after high school, let's start right there, right? You played for your high school in, like, the Livonia area. And what high school was that?
Churchill.
Okay, so you play there. What was that experience like? Like, did you playing for that team?
Yeah, I was very small. I was very undersized and very thin. So it was interesting. It was very difficult. The seniors were a lot bigger than me, but I did end up making the varsity squad as a sophomore. And I'm very young for my age group, for my year. So I was 15 years old. But I had some fantastic guys that helped me through that, and my family as well. Was always there to support me and help me and guide me to push through that. So then I ended up the next year, my junior year, I was still 15 during the season, and I was the captain of the team as well, voted by the team. And then my senior year as well, second year captain, and we made a pretty good run for our school. Historically, not the best team in the area, but we did pretty well, so it was very enjoyable.
And so after that moment is when you decided, I'm going to, well, I mean, you had already decided you wanted to try to pursue this, but then you had some opportunities. Like, what happened once you graduated high school? Were you thinking about college? Were you thinking about, like, what were your options, and what did you decide to do?
I'll be honest, I didn't want to go to college. I don't like school too much, but I know it's important, and my family is quite academic. My dad's parents were both teachers, so it was always very important for our family to value school and value the ability to learn and how to learn than what to learn. So it was important, so I started speaking to colleges, and I started to try to get some interest, but I was a little behind the eight ball. I had no clue where I was going, to be honest, but I knew that there was a plan for me somewhere, and so I just kind of kept training, kept putting my head to it, kept working hard, kept being intentional about what I wanted to do, and then I didn't end up getting so many college offers, but then I did end up getting an offer to go play for Macclesfield FC in England, and I took it.
Wow. So how does that come about? Like, as a high school student, you graduate, and I mean, I don't know where in the timeline this was, but I mean, there's not really, like, I grew up playing soccer, and there wasn't really like a pathway that was like, oh, go play in England. It was like that wasn't even in my framework. How did that come about for you?
I know a scout saw me while I was playing a high school game, and they liked what they saw, obviously. My high school wasn't the best level, but they more so looked at the ability within the player and the potential of the player than the actual level of the game. And I went over there, supposed to play with their under-19s because I was 17 years old when I graduated and when I went over there. And I ended up moving to the under-23s pretty quickly because they had seen that potential, and I did a lot of work in the gym to try to build my body up because I was quite undersized, which was a problem with the college pathway as well.
Yeah, well, especially in the United States. I mean, it's like, especially the higher divisions like D1, like they're looking for the more American style footballers, right? That are where undersized is usually out of the equation. You know what I mean? I mean, you know what I mean. You absolutely do. You experienced it. So you get that offer. You go over there. You're not even 18 yet. You're over in England. What happens next?
Well, not being 18 caused some troubles with the government. I had to have like a legal guardian because my family obviously stayed here. But I had two wonderful coaches, Aunt Curran and Matthew Morgan, that really took care of me. And the team was from all over the place as well. Quite a few Americans, quite a few South Americans, a lot of English players as well. And it was fantastic to compete, and I really learned a lot, especially that first year. We had a huge squad for the under-23s because so many players were so good, and a couple players were coming down from the reserve team as well. So it was really competitive, and that pushed me to grow a lot and become a big part of the team and become a big part of the team in the years after as well. So it was more tactically challenging, more mentally challenging being alone over there and being a player and with a huge squad and learning a new way of football because over here we play so direct. And so just understanding how to play the chess game that football truly is before I had only understood to play with my feet, and I always valued quality of technique as well. So it was somewhat easier for me to play the chess game and the tactical game and understand how to play that because I could rely on my technique. That was my favorite thing to do anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how long were you on that team for?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. So you stayed primarily in England for 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're now 19, 20, and what happened to that? How did that come to an end, and what was next for you?
From the moment I went over there, I wanted to play professionally. I wanted this to be the way that this is my full-time gig, my full-time job.
And this team was like, what like, was it a professional club? Like, where was it in the tiers, and was it professional?
Yeah, so when I committed to them, they were a League 2 club, which is 4th division in England and is professional. And that summer that I went over there, they got booked for a financial fair play, and they got put to the 9th tier of England.
Oh, wow.
So it was not professional when I ended up actually being there. But the club had a lot of backing, a lot of money, and they knew their goal was to get back to be a professional club, which means they need to win the league every single year.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of quality and they had a lot of backing behind them to move through the English pyramid, and that trickled down to the academy. Both of my coaches had coached at Juventus, which is a huge Italian club as well, their academy. So it trickled down, and I knew I wanted to play professionally, and my goal was always to develop myself to be at the level of a professional. If I didn't see myself as the level of a professional, then I didn't deserve to be in those environments.
Yeah.
Which was a rude awakening in multiple ways, but also it helped me to develop in many different ways as a player and as a young man to be the man that can be in those environments and succeed. I don't just want to go there and then fall short, not succeed, and not go and make a name for myself, make a career for myself. So I was always pushing further, and I was always asking my coaches, who do you know? How can you help me to get to this next level? Can you push me in the first team? And then the second year I believe I was there, I got called up to the first team. I started training with them. I didn't end up making my debut, although I was on the squad for a game in the first team. My second year there, I made my debut against a League Two team, 4th Division, professional, a well-known team in the area, and we won the game 4-2.
Wow.
I actually played with a couple players who had played in the Premier League as well, because Macclesfield had the backing to get those players to come play with them.
Wow.
So, for example, Danny Simpson, I came on the field for him as a left back. He had won the Premier League with Leicester as a left back in 2016, I believe.
Wow, and you subbed for him.
Yeah,
wow.
So it was an incredible experience. I think Nyasi as well, striker from Everton. I actually played with him. He was the striker, and he scored a hat-trick that game. It was an unreal experience to play with that caliber of player and try to compare myself. They're where I want to be, or they've been where I want to be. And I'm just a young guy trying to be a sponge and soak it all up. So.
Wow. So you're there for a couple of years, and then what happened after that?
I can't lie, I got a little impatient. So I left halfway through my third season to pursue professional opportunities, which I had one of the players who went there. And we were all studying as well. It's important to mention we were all part of a university program, which is how we got in the country.
Okay.
So we were all studying, but it was all based off football. So I studied the science of football and coaching as well. But one person had become an agent who I had played with.
Oh, nice.
So he helped me get some professional opportunities, and I went to Sweden for 2 months, trained with 3 different professional squads. We couldn't sort out a visa with the immigration office, and then I ended up going to Latvia, where his company had worked in Latvian teams, and I went there to play my first professional season.
Wow. And so what team was that?
JFK Ventspils.
Okay. And so that was where are we at in the timeline? How many years ago was this moment?
2024, 2 years ago.
Okay, so 2 years ago you're playing in Latvia.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that experience like for you?
It was unreal. For the first time, I had the experience of being a professional, although it was not what I expected. They treat foreign players interesting sometimes in the professional levels that aren't very wealthy. But I had some unreal experiences playing against Riga, who plays in the Champions League, beating a first division team in the Latvian Cup when we were in the second division, training on the grass that every player wants to play on every single day, just being a part of that environment. And nobody spoke English. Only Latvian and
By the
Russian.
way.
Yeah. So it was really lonely. It was really tough as well. It's important to mention when I was playing was fantastic, but that's only 2 or 3 hours out of the day.
Wow.
And I had a lot of issues outside of that. So
yeah,
it was great, but also a great learning experience.
Yeah, but a lot of difficulty surrounding that. So that was a couple years ago, and then did that lead you to the point when you came here to Lansing City, or was there something in between?
Yeah, then I went back to – so it actually unfortunately, it got so poor with the club and how they were treating some of the players. And a lot of the players, they feel like they don't have a chance to change anything. They feel like they need to stay. They need to suffer no matter what. I was not raised that way, by no means. So I spoke to the club often about this is unacceptable, and I'm a human being, and you need to do better than this, not just for me, but for the rest of the people as well. And I know you have the ability to change this. Please do. And that didn't change, so I ended up paying out my own contract and leaving just past halfway through the season. Even though I was the starting center back, I was playing, I was doing well, but I refused to put up with the conditions any longer, and I left. I went back to a club with my brother playing in Chesterfield, England, Chesterfield FC. This is a League Two team. They are still a League Two team, and I played for their under-23s and trained with the first team sometimes, and it was a great experience. The people, the staff, the coaches, they were very enjoyable people, and I was able to live a more humane lifestyle as well as play with my brother, which is one of my dreams since I was young, to play with him as well.
And you guys are still playing together now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
That's awesome. That's really cool. So after you played there, that was the most recent team before coming here?
Yeah, so then I came home, and I went back to Sweden. I had some clubs I've been keeping up with through my time with Chesterfield. I went back to Sweden with a team. I actually went to Spain with a team, and then I was in the first division with the team, EF Nistan, in Finland, which was another unreal experience. I was with them for 2 weeks during their preseason. The coach was liking me a lot, and the players there was a center half who was my size, which is also a great inspiration because I'm not big for a center back by any means, and he was fantastic. He mentored me a lot over those 2 weeks. He had played against Prime Barcelona in 2012, so this guy's been everywhere. Finnish national team in the Euros, which is what I aspire to play in for the U.S. national team. He had been in Bundesliga in Germany, obviously La Liga in Spain. The striker I was marking came from Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga. These huge clubs that I kind of felt disqualified to be in this environment. Everybody here has this resume that's unreal. And for the first time, I saw myself stack up with them in a real environment where they're trying 100%, where it's not a cup game and they're kind of just doing their job. I mean, it's preseason. They're trying to get fit. Yeah. They're playing 100%, pushing their level. And it was a great experience. And then obviously I didn't sign with them, so I came home and played for Detroit City's reserve team.
Okay. And so that was around the time when you then came here to play for this summer.
Yeah, so that was last year. I played for City's second team, training with the first team sometimes. It was a good experience. We won our region, went to the national tournament. I went back to Sweden. More clubs, same clubs, all of the above, training with them, trying to solve immigration, but unfortunately the immigration rules got even more challenging this year.
Wow.
And I did have clubs try to work with me and figure that out, but it didn't pan out. And that's when I was speaking with Jeremy and Matt, like I mentioned previously.
Yeah.
And I was really excited to come home and check this out.
Wow. So a pretty long journey over several years, because now how old are you?
22.
22. So 5-year journey, being in, overseas, playing there, different opportunities at different levels. And then now coming here, playing for Lansing City. This season, I think if anyone that's been watching along, it's kind of been full of promise, since the beginning. I remember, I think I interviewed you just for social media at the end of the first training, and the message coming from you and pretty much everyone else was like, wow, this is a really good environment. The training is we're out here for our first training and people are giving it and then a 1-0 win over Midwest to start the year away, and then a good outing against the Bucks that ended up coming short. So a lot of wow, this could be something really special. And then since then, there's been some really heart-wrenching moments. 2 games that came down to giving up a goal in extra time. I think it was both of them, right?
Yeah.
And one of them, or one or both, you guys were a man down when you gave up one of the goals.
Yeah.
And then the most recent outing, the 6-0 loss at Oakland. So after that promise and all that you experienced in your journey overseas, now this is the reality that Lansing City men's team is facing. How do you personally face that, that kind of failure?
I'm going to be completely honest. It's my faith. That's when I was home playing as a child, I was always able to connect with my family, and my parents especially really helped me. My dad especially really helped me with that. And for the first time when I went to England, I was still a child, and I mean, people don't realize they think it's a dream lifestyle. You go over there, but you train, and you train poorly, you get left out of the squad, and then you're home alone. And so it's really tough, and I realized for the first time, like, I'm alone. Like, my family is so far away, 4,000 miles away. So I didn't have them to lean personally on, and I didn't grow up with the same faith that I have now. So I actually found my faith, and I had read the Bible for the first time because of my teammate, Jeff, I was living in an attic with him in Latvia.
Wow.
With 4 other teammates. And we were both struggling, and I saw this guy so dedicated to his faith, and nothing could shake him. And I was like, man, what is this guy reading? What is this guy doing? And I would talk to him, and we would talk till 3 or 4 a.m. struggling, and I never want to feel sorry for myself, and he doesn't either. So we were always speaking about it in a serious manner, an intentional manner of how we move past this and what can we do, not what don't we have.
Yeah.
And nothing could shake this guy because he had Jesus in his heart. And I was like, I had read a lot of other religious texts at that point in time, in my own journey, being alone, searching for purpose, searching for my identity, searching for all these things that I'm just lost in so many different countries in Europe.
Yeah.
And at that moment in time, I had read a little bit of the Bible, and then I had realized this is real, and I read the whole New Testament in 2 months, and
Wow.
I dove in the deep end of it, and it really helped me since then. So to answer your question simply, I have faith that God has a plan for every single one of us. My identity is not within winning a game. Even faith aside, my identity is not in winning a game. I think a lot of young players, they have their identity so rooted in performance. A lot of people do, and even not just players. You go to your job, and society values performance over anything. And I tried to reject that as much as possible since I was a kid. Like I said, I didn't even want to have a normal job. So I've kind of been against the grain since I was a kid, but now I realize I don't even want to be part of the grain. I want to be far apart, set apart from it, and I want to do what is virtuous, what is character building, and what is correct. And my dad really instilled that since I was a kid, to have integrity and character is the most important thing for a man, and a young man needs to show that. So the losses are tough, but we come back with the new hope is the most important thing every training session. And you lean on Jesus. Myself personally, I lean on Jesus. I know he has a plan for us, and I know that when we struggle, it's an opportunity to grow closer in our dependability on him. And it's all about the heart posture. So it's really, I just focus on him afterwards, and I let the struggle bring me closer to him and those around me and the team as well. And that's the most helpful thing.
And that whole experience was during your time in Latvia. And you said you were living in an attic with 4 other players. So that just gives a slight peek into what that environment was like for you guys. So when you talk about, your training, and if it goes badly, you're not selected, is that the time that you think of, like, alone in this attic? Or is there other moments that you think of when it's like it didn't work out for you in this case and you were alone?
Oh, the whole time I was in England, I was so lost.
Wow.
I told my coach when I went there for preseason one time, my brother had joined me for preseason. They were scouting him as well, seeing, do we want this kid to come play for us? And I was living in a hotel with my brother. And I told my coach, this was after I'd been there for 2 seasons, I told my coach, this is the first time I've enjoyed England. And he was like shocked. He was like, don't say that. That's like, come on, like you have to be joking. And I was like, no, it's been really painful so far. Although I've learned a lot. I was lost. Drifting is the best word I can say. And that carried over until really after Latvia. So.
Wow. And so now, bringing that experience you had from overseas and feeling lost and then you find something that's so valuable to you, and you're leaning on it, and then now you come here and facing what you guys are facing now. How does that translate into, okay, what happens tonight on the training field? Like, how do you guys as a unit and you personally, face that, with courage?
Yeah, courage is really important. I've spent a lot of time studying the scripture in the Bible. I'm very analytic. I'm very methodical, so that's what I've spent a lot of my time doing. I haven't spent a lot of time in church or anything, so it's been difficult in the sense where it's been me alone. I'm very analytical and I'm very introspective as well, and I try to bring that out in the team. And I think the most important thing is to bring everybody's character out. It's the first team of Lansing City. There's teams under us that are looking up to us, and they don't want to see us lose 6-0, of course, but what they want to see is that we're fighting, and what they want to see is that we're playing well, and what they want to see is each individual character in the team. So myself, with my experience, I try to draw those characters out when I see something. So when I see a player's shy, I try to draw those characters out, sometimes in a harsh manner and sometimes almost always in a manner that is inviting them like a magnet to draw those good qualities out, because the team wants them. The team wants to see them. Everybody wants to see them. And I don't want anybody to act in fear or anxiety. That's not the correct heart posture to act from. So when I see that, I try to address it head on, very directly, very simply, and I try to bring that character out of them and be courageous, because the reflection of, for example, the last game, it's really a reflection of what's going on inside the team. The external result is what it is, but we need to fix internally first, and then the external result will come. We won Midwest United. We were so excited to play. We were so excited. The club treats us so well here. We were so excited to fight for the badge. We were so excited to play. Some of us haven't played in a while. We were very excited and together, which is two important things. And since then, after we've had a lot of struggle, especially heartbreaking moments in the last minute, we're a man down the past 2 games. We've lost that excitement, in my opinion, and that's why I'm trying to bring out those characters that are exciting, that are rejuvenating for the team, that are they have a part to play. That's something I learned in England. Even if I'm not on the squad, even if I'm a substitute on the squad, my job is still as important as the player who's going to go play 90 minutes tomorrow, because I'm setting them up for success, and I'm still part of the team.
Wow.
So it's not a selfish moment of being pissed off. I can be angry, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's not a selfish moment of being pissed off with and trying to tear them down.
Yeah.
If I'm going to win my spot, I need to compete in a loving manner with this guy, and I need to compete and uplift him, because iron sharpens iron. And so that's a big thing for me, is iron sharpens iron. Me and my brother go train all the time. We're not training not physically. We're physical with each other, because I'm making him better by going 100%, and he's making me better by going 100%. So I try to do that with the team as well, because iron sharpens iron, and we're going to elevate as a team, as a unit, rather than people are tearing people down just to try to get a personal gain or a spot or 90 minutes. Or that's all useless behavior, and we need to cut it out.
Yeah, so it makes me think about like Lansing City started as futsal club and still has futsal, of course, anyone that's familiar. But one thing that is super apparent in futsal is you're talking about being courageous. Like, you have to be, and you have to be willing to face like failure. You have to be willing to make mistakes. You have to like face that. It's been a big theme of like the club. Like, this is like a big piece of it. So from your experience and what you guys are doing here this season with Lansing City, if you had to speak directly to any youth players in the Lansing City program playing futsal, what would you say to like say, hey, this is what it means to this is what separates players into champions, or just casual, or is you're guaranteed failure in sports, right? You're gonna face it, and in futsal you face it a lot. Like, you're under that pressure and under that gun a lot, and of course in soccer too. So if you had to say, this would be like what I would tell like the youth players of Lansing City. This is how you step up and face that with courage. Like, how would you say that?
I'm sorry to be repetitive, but my answer would be it all comes down to your identity. And for me, that's come to the point of Jesus Christ. And it's come to the point that I know that God has a purpose for me in this life. And the identity that He gives me, who created me, has purpose. So it doesn't matter what happened on the football field. I still have the same purpose, which allows me to be vulnerable on the football field. I also coach players who are in youth, and my first question to them, I ask them to be vulnerable when we train, because if you're vulnerable, you make mistakes, and then I can coach you. If you're scared, you don't make mistakes. I can't coach you. And so I learn from that as well. When I play, I make mistakes. Everybody does. It's not the mistakes that matter, but it's the effort that matters, because at some point you'll be guided to make less mistakes or make different mistakes, which is growth. So for me, it's the purpose that God has given me outside of football that allows me to be so free in football to play and have no second thought about what happens, because as soon as I step over the line, I want to win. When I wake up, I focus a lot outside of football to put myself in the best position to be able to compete at that intensity every time I step on the field. So my mind is always thinking about it. And it's also really important that when I step on the field, it's 100%. As soon as I step off the field, maybe the car ride home, and then it's finished. And my purpose is just as important as it was before, and the game is the game. And it is that. It is a game. So some people, myself included, put so much emphasis on this game, and I think, oh, I made this mistake, I'm a failure. And I need to realize my purpose outside of the game. I need to realize my identity outside of the game. So I guess another answer would be perspective. Perspective on life. When I was home with my family, my perspective was much bigger. When I'm alone playing as a foreign player for a club, my perspective is really small and really selfish. It's all about me.
Wow.
And so get outside of yourself and realize your purpose around you, and connection is the most important thing. Connect with your teammates, connect with the players, connect with the staff. And it's the most important thing to cultivate a team that is vulnerable so they can take risks in order to win. Because if you don't risk, you don't win.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time here before training to share about your experience and what it's been like for you and what's going on with the guys right now in the situation. So thanks so much, man. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
We're going to go to a quick break and a special message on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back inside the city. We have a very special message that we wanted to let you all know about. Something going on at this upcoming home game on Thursday, as well as next Tuesday, the women's match too. But I'm joined by Melvin from Techers League, and he's going to share a little bit about what he's trying to do and how you guys can get involved at the game this coming Thursday and Tuesday. So, Melvin, tell me about this Techers League. What is this league that you're doing?
Yeah, 100%. First of all, thank you for having me. Well, I came up with the idea of Techers League in the first place just because I noticed that there was a culture change that was kind of missing here in the U.S. Just for example, abroad, like in Europe, you have, different outlets in which people can express their creativity through soccer, whether that's through like skill competitions, street tournaments, and stuff like that. And so I felt like the U.S. was missing that, and that is kind of what I wanted to bring here. So Techers League is essentially a soccer culture and media brand that hosts events centered around creativity, skill, and personality, right? And you guys are going to get a glimpse of that this Thursday. This Thursday we're hosting like a 1v1 tournament. And this is what pretty much what Techers League is, right? We aim to basically give the power to the people and also get them to showcase their skills and creativity. We want the skills to be rewarded and not be shamed upon.
Wow, so it's all about it's not even about one type of event.
No.
It's more about how you're playing.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's more about how you're playing. I think we all know players like Ronaldinho, Neymar, and I feel like me personally, watching them as a kid, they always inspired me to go out there and kick a ball, right? And that is kind of like the same feeling we're trying to give to everybody else out here.
Wow.
Yes.
So you said on Thursday you guys are hosting before the match.
Yes.
You're hosting a 1v1 tournament.
Yes,
What's that going to look like?
So what that is going to look like is right before the game at 6:15, we have a 1v1 tournament. So if you guys are available, we'd love to see you there. It's going to be one-on-one. You guys are going to go each other. If you do not make someone, the game ends there. If you do score, that's a point. And you guys keep going back and forth until there's a winner.
Okay, and how many points do you play to?
4.
Okay, so 4 points or 1 meg.
Yes.
It's over.
Yep.
Like sudden death, boom, you're
Yes,
toast.
yes.
When you get megged, it's the ultimate.
We'd love to see a nice meg.
Oh, wow, that's great. Okay, so it's going to be 1v1, and I think this is going to be on the Pana courts, where if you guys have come to a game before, right there. So it's kind of like small, in there. You can't run anywhere, which is one of the big things we talk about in the futsal league a lot is you can't hide on a futsal court. You may be able to throw on a football field. You might be able to throw someone out on the wing and hide them. But in futsal and in 1v1, of course, you can't. So you're going to do this. If you want to join, you can sign up on the website to be a part of the 1v1.
Yes.
And what else? How else can people get involved with the Techers League?
100%. So Techers League, we have an Instagram. It's called @Techers League Official. We also have a TikTok. It's called Techers League 8. And we also just started a YouTube where we're just posting the shorts from the different events we've had so far, and that's called Techers League.
Okay, that's amazing. So you can follow on social media.
Yes.
Give us an idea as we wrap up here of like another event that you've given. So obviously this is going to be 1v1. We're going to do it on Tuesday as well. But what is like an example of another event you've done?
I love that you asked me that question. So what we're trying to do essentially is change the soccer culture as a whole. So another event that we've done is 5v5, but not like any 5v5. So it's 5v5 with special rules. One of the rules is that if you not make someone without losing possession of the ball and you score, that counts as 2 goals. If you score behind the halfway line, that's 2 goals. Each team is entitled to 1v1 call per half. What that would look like is a player that has the possession of the ball is able to call it 1v1 during the game. They can't call it like they have to call it before the last 3 minutes of each half. And if you score a goal before the last 3 minutes of each game, or like during the last 3 minutes of each game, it counts as 2 goals as well. So that is kind of like exciting rules I just kind of came up with to make the game more interesting to watch and play as well. Yeah.
So the whole idea is the events are supposed to encourage. I mean, we were just talking about like dealing with failure and being courageous. So it's all about like being willing to do something that is a risk.
Yes.
Being willing to like not trying to play it safe all the time.
Yes.
And so the events are intentionally like. I mean, I don't know if you'd use the word extreme, but intentionally like these rules, right? It's intentionally like. Different and intentionally like, I'm gonna encouraging to do something maybe a little bit crazy.
Yes, 100%. I think it's something that's definitely out there. I do think that at least a lot of the people that are watching, I don't know if they can relate, but if you grow up playing organized soccer, it's kind of a thing where you're often told to play very simply, right? And people are really able to express the creative side when they're playing out in the streets with their friends, right? And this is what I wanted to bring to Techers League.
Wow,
Yes.
that's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Melvin. I appreciate you jumping on and letting us know about what's going to be happening. So if you want to get involved, you can sign up for the 1v1 this coming Thursday. It's also going to be 1v1 on next Tuesday as well. Okay, so 1v1s that you can sign up for. I don't know if there's talk of prizes or anything like that. That may not be your department, but thumbs up. I just got a thumbs up. There are prizes coming your way. So be sure to sign up. Can't guarantee it's going to be a spot on any of Lansing City's teams, but there will be prizes. But who knows? Maybe this is your way in. So come and join the Techers League this Thursday or on Tuesday. You can sign up on the website. You can also follow social media. Any final comments or anything you'd want to say, Melvin?
I want to say, be bold, be creative, and see you out there.
Awesome. We'll see you guys this Thursday for the USL game. Be sure to come on out to Grand Ledge Community Stadium if you'd like to join us in person, or you can watch the action live on Sports Edge and Play. Thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's Inside the City. I'm Jared Kleppel. We'll see you guys next time.
All right.